This is like take 400. Alright people, thanks for joining me. Today we are going to be today we're going to be comparing mobile VR through the Oculus Go versus PC VR through the Samsung Odyssey Plus. This is nice. This is cool. I like this. Let's get into it. It's all about the jump shots. Cut shots? Cut jumps? What are they called? Jump cuts, right? I don't know what I'm doing.
Round 1. Fight!
First, portability. Okay, PC VR, can't go anywhere very far from your computer because you're physically tethered to it. Okay, yeah. You can go pretty much anywhere you want with your Oculus Go. You can even use it outside. Although, because of its inherent front weightedness and its flat front, it's very susceptible to getting its lenses exposed to sunlight, and there's posts on Reddit about people having that happen for just a second. And their screen gets burned, so not recommended. There are, however, some use cases where mobile VR is better, more practical than PC VR. For example, there are a couple of apps like Virtual Desktop, which is really a remote desktop. There is a PC VR version of it, and there is the mobile VR version of it. And because you can just connect to it over the internet very easily, you don't have to be in the same room or even in the same building as your PC. As long as your PC is connected to the internet and you're connected to the internet wherever you are, wherever in the world you are, you can access your computer. Very practical application. Much better than the, in my opinion, version for PC VR where you're just tethered and you are looking at your PC, which is already a few feet away from you, but with a mask on. One more example of where PC VR is not as practical as mobile VR would be an app like Star Chart, which is a wonderful app. Highly recommend it. You should go buy it. Because you can use it for looking at the sky and for seeing where things are in the sky. You could just go up to a mountain late at night, use your Oculus Go to see where something is. Star Chart shows where meteor showers are coming from. Where's the meteor shower tonight? Ah, there it is right there. Very useful app. Shows where the planets are and all kinds of stuff. That would be useful. You could take this up to a mountain. Okay, where's the meteor shower coming from? Bam. I mean, you're not going to do that with this. You're going to be sitting at your computer. You know, you're tethered, maybe if you get an extension up to 20 feet from your computer, you're not going to be going outside to do that. Those are only two examples. There definitely are use case scenarios where mobile VR is better than PC VR because of its mobility.
Round 2. Fight!
Now, when most people think of the Samsung Odyssey Plus, they think of one thing first, the screen, the anti-SDE technology. It's cool. It makes things look clearer for most people. Some people say it makes it look softer. There's other people that say it actually makes things look much clearer. And after looking at some discussions on the WMR subreddit, it looks like this is heavily dependent on your hardware and software settings. Also, the screen on the Samsung Odyssey Plus is OLED. Very rich colors, very deep blacks, but not too rich, not overly done. Very good eye candy, very, very pleasing. The Oculus Go, on the other hand, has a fast switching LCD. It's not OLED, so not as deep blacks and not as rich colors. Having said that, the clarity of the screen in the Oculus Go is probably underappreciated by most of the users. Why is that? Because the hardware running behind the screen is struggling to catch up to the quality of the screen. For example, if you use Wander, you'll see how clear everything can look. Look down at your controller in Wander versus look down at your controller in Oculus Home. Much clearer in Wander. And when you start looking at videos that are so clear, you start not noticing the SDE or screen door effect, even on the Oculus Go. That's one of the reasons why I put out the app where you can increase the resolution on the Oculus Go, because there are so many games that you don't realize look like you're playing them underwater until you increase the resolution. The problem is, because of the limited resources, sometimes doing that causes games to lag, in which case they become unplayable. So it's not practical for every game and application. That's where the Samsung Odyssey Plus can really shine, because hey, if you need some more processing power, you can just upgrade your PC. Can't do that with the Go. You're stuck with what you got.
Round 3. Fight!
Another thing about the Oculus Go, comfort. Very comfortable. Very comfortable. You can see that I could just rest my head back on a pillow. A lot of people will do that. They will put this on and they will put in an app, whether it's a Netflix VR app or YouTube VR app, and they will lay back. You can even do this in Oculus TV. Lay back and cast the screen up to the ceiling and just watch a movie. You can't do that on this. You're definitely not going to be laying back and putting your head on a pillow on a Windows Mixed Reality headset like this. Not going to happen. If you want to watch movies or something on this, you got to be sitting up for sure. Another thing regarding comfort when it comes to the Samsung Odyssey Plus, there's a lot of people saying it's extremely uncomfortable. And while I will say that it is not initially uncomfortable for me, after a little while it becomes painful and I have to take it off. For me, specifically up here, it's got padding, but for some reason up here it becomes very uncomfortable. I don't know if it's like an hour or 2 hours. I mean, I'm using it for a while, and then I have to take it off for at least a half an hour before I can put it back on without having pain. That's one of the things people complain about. They're like, Samsung really got creative with this anti-SDE technology, but they missed out on a lot of other opportunities to improve the headset. Some people say that they took a step backwards. A lot of mixed opinions about the lack of adjustments that you can make on this to make it more comfortable. Another issue on the comfort, like people will say, people are making all kinds of mods to kind of get this closer to their face. They're putting like Velcro and stuff on it. I don't know why Samsung didn't make it adjustable, but it's like, it just needs to go a little bit further, just a little bit further. And you can adjust this so that it does get further, but then it's not, it could have just done better. Like right now it sounds really clear, but I feel it on my nose in a way that it's going to end up hurting in a little bit. I mean, it doesn't hurt right now. It feels fine right now. Oh, yeah, this is cool. They were just so innovative with the anti-SDE tech and not so innovative on not just making it comfortable in general, but making it adjustable for different people. I think that's the only thing this is lacking. Even if they kept this, if they made this more adjustable for different faces, it'd be almost perfect.
Round 4, fight!
Alright, degrees of freedom. 6 degrees of freedom on PC VR versus 3 degrees of freedom. 3 degrees of freedom with mobile VR. Okay, what does that mean? Well, 3 degrees meaning 1, 2, 3. In space, you can only move that way. 3 degrees of freedom, you know, when you're moving around, your environment doesn't reflect that you're physically moving. So that's the difference. Whereas in PC VR, if you're moving around, it looks like you would expect it to look if you were actually there physically. If you're moving away from something, the thing doesn't follow you. It stays wherever its virtual position is. However, there are some things when it comes to 6 degrees of freedom that don't translate over onto PC VR. For example, if you're watching movies or looking at pictures, that's just 3 degrees of freedom. Nothing changes. If you're watching YouTube or you're watching a movie, it doesn't change. So when it comes to media playback, even though that the Samsung Odyssey Plus has anti-SDE technology, it's still more practical to view it on the Oculus Go. And like I said, when you have that resolution high enough, you don't notice the screen door effect. It's great. And I know there are some 6 degrees of freedom videos that it's kind of like an experimental thing right now, but it seems really gimmicky. So I don't think it's anything that you're going to miss out on anytime soon.
Round 5, fight!
Cost. Oculus Go can be had starting at $199 for the 32 gigabyte version, and it's $249 for the 64 gig version. And that's it. All the processing is right in here. The only thing you need to spend money on is, actually it comes with a battery for the controller. So you don't even need to spend money on that. There's a lot of free apps and games that you can download to start off. There's a lot of great ones that cost money. So you can also buy accessories like a case to put it in. Some people put stickers and decals on it. Some people buy portable battery packs, power banks, to charge it while they're using it. But you could just drop $199 on it and you're all set. You're ready to go. $199. Now when it comes to PC VR, the Samsung Odyssey Plus starts at $500. Well, it's just $500. Unless you got it on the Black Friday sale for $299. Yeah. And then, of course, if you buy this and you put it on, you'll notice there's nothing. Like, it's completely black because you need to plug it in to a PC. Yeah, you need to plug it into a PC. A pretty powerful PC. If you already got one, no problem. You don't really count that as a cost. You're like, I already have an awesome computer, no big deal. So that may be the case for a lot of people, but that may not be the case. A lot of people have an Oculus Go that don't have a computer. That's going to cost maybe another $900 to $1,200. Bare minimum recommended card is like a GTX 970. I've got a GTX 980 and I got to upgrade. So there's a significant cost factor increase if you're going to go PC VR than if you just want to go mobile VR. The cost for the Oculus Go is even less than Gear VR because Gear VR requires a phone. That's what, around $500 to $900? Nope, $199. You're all set.
Round 6. Fight!
Another thing is convenience. Hey, I just feel like jumping into VR real quick. I'm in the living room sitting on the couch. I'm gonna grab my lightweight VR headset. No problem. It's not a big deal. I don't have to move around. It's 3 degrees of freedom. I don't need to worry about space around me, clearing off anything, clearing out anything. Don't need to worry about it. Just throw it on, have fun. PC VR, on the other hand, you have to consider a lot of other things. You gotta go in the room with your computer. You wanna do room scale. You need, what's the minimum requirements is like 6 by 6 by 5 feet, like minimum. And there are some games that you have locomotion that you don't really need all that space with, but for like the sporting games, yeah, there's no way of getting around that. So there's a cost there in just having space that you need, not very convenient. As a consequence of that, you can find all kinds of people who have like an Oculus Rift or a PC VR headset, and they also have an Oculus Go saying, hey, I use my Oculus Go way more frequently. Yeah, it's way more convenient. It's not the same experience, but it's way more convenient.
Round 6. Fight!
Social interactions is another factor that comes into these two, partly because of how convenient it is, but also because of the offerings. Now, because Facebook bought Oculus and they want to really push the social aspect, they've got a surprisingly long way to go, in my opinion, because they advertised Oculus TV as being able to watch things with other people. That's kind of difficult to do. They don't even have that option built into that yet. You can go into Oculus rooms, play games with people. That's a lot of fun. You can watch movies that you can buy and only watch in there. But I own this movie on Blu-ray and on Vudu. I have to buy it again? Like if you have another movie collection, forget about it. You have to buy them again if you want to watch them with somebody in Oculus rooms. I think they have a long way to go. There are some things that are really cool though. You can just invite somebody that's on your friends list to your group if they have another Oculus Go and they're online, and you guys can talk, and it's an extremely clear VoIP call. It's extremely clear, and if you put headphones in, it sounds like they're talking on a professional microphone. Wonderful. Highly recommend trying that. And then they have a lot of games where you can play together, and people are always creating new ones too that have a multiplayer social experience. There's a new one called Galaxity, and you can play that with other people, and that's kind of, some people have compared it to Rec Room for the Oculus Rift. And speaking of Rec Room, which is an Oculus Rift game, you can play that on Windows Mixed Reality headsets such as the Samsung Odyssey Plus using the app Revive, which allows you to play all kinds of Oculus Rift games through the actual Oculus app on your PC. There's a lot more sporting type games there that you can use. And as PC VR and mobile VR both grow, I expect that the mobile VR social interaction will definitely catch up to PC VR. Having said that, because mobile VR is much more convenient than PC VR, this could probably easily outpace the amount of social interaction. Although quality of social interaction, being able to move your limbs around, play sports, can be more immersive on PC VR, for sure. Having said that, that's not always a good thing. Sometimes it's like, okay, this is really tiring. I just want 3 degrees of freedom.
Round 6. Fight!
Audio. The audio on the Oculus Go is surprisingly good. I'll show you how it works. Here's a speaker, right here. This connects to the speaker and it pumps the sound down here and it comes out right here. And when you put it on, it's really close to your ear. It's really close to your ear. See, there's a hole, comes through. And it has really good spatial audio. It's very surprising and a little bit confusing how good it sounds. And apparently the Oculus Quest that's coming out in spring is going to have even better audio. Again, the wonderful low cost of mobile VR entry is pretty good, I think. Now the audio of PC VR should be good, right? Should be better, you would think. But there's a problem. One of the problems is most of the headsets, including this one, you can't remove these headphones to put your own on. Like, let's say you want to put wireless headphones on. Well, what are you going to do with these? There are some people that actually like just hack this thing and take them off, cut them off, because they want to use their own. And the audio on here doesn't sound bad. The issue is fit for a lot of people. And the audio sounds really good when they're properly placed over your ears. Another problem is it feels like they should be more pressure. Like they don't really clamp down over your ears. They just kind of sit above them. I mean, they definitely make contact, but there is no pressure. Well, there might be a little bit of pressure, but it's very minimal. You can definitely tell that there needs to be better. It needs to be better. I mean, there's people that just want to use their own headphones. Have a jack in here and use higher quality headphones? I don't see why they wouldn't make that an option. I think that's what this needs. More adjustability for comfort for different people. And it needs an easy way to detach the built-in headphones so you can plug in your own headphones, maybe a 3 1/4 inch jack somewhere on the device as an option, not as a requirement for audio. There's people out there that would really like to use that as a feature, and you can't do that with this. Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another video. Today we're going to take PCVR experience. We're going to put this with this and see what happens. We're going to see, is this cool? Is this cool? Were you a loser if you can't afford this? Or are you a winner if you know not to spend too much money on this and you're just a wise person in how you spend money? Let's check it out.